What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Crump side. Today we've got the Week 9 RBL battle against Drew, captain of the Oakland Typhlosions. It's been a while since I've done a recording, so hopefully I'm not too rusty, but as you can see, he's brought in a scary team. The three Pokemon I most fear from him is definitely the Crawdon, the Bisharp, and the Charizard Y. They're all really solid Pokemon. Bisharp and Crawdon mainly because they can set up, and I have to be careful of them setting up all over my butt because once they set up, it can be really hard to stop them, and definitely lose a Pokemon if that happens. So really have to be kind of bold with those predictions. Make sure I don't make a mistake or something like that. He's also brought the Azelf, which is one supporting Mofo, can really cripple my team and as well set up some hazards. As you can see, I brought him the Rotom, the Gliscor, the Heracross, the Donphan, the Espeon, and Empoleon. So I really like these Pokemon. Heracross hasn't done much, so I was hoping to get some more work from him, but let's see how that goes. So without further ado, let's start the game. I think I decided to lead off with Rotom Wash because Rotom Wash is definitely one of the most solid leads, especially with the Volt Switch. And as you can see, he's got the Azelf. He let it off with the Azelf. So since I know it's probably gonna set up Stealth Rocks, I want to get them back on his field. So the best move on my part was to switch into Cake and get a Magic Bounce off. So at least when he goes for those rocks, I bounce him right back, so that's kind of cool. So look at that, Espeon setting up some Stealth Rocks. That kind of worked out pretty well in my favor. I'm not sure he had a spinner either, so those rocks are definitely going to be there for a while. I don't think you can get rid of them, so maybe the rest of the game. So I take a chance to set up a Reflect and some screens because I know that Bisharp is going to be coming up pretty soon. So if I can set up some screens, it'll definitely make switching in a bit easier because now that Bisharp's in there, it's gonna go for a knockoff. And I can also, set up a Wish here so I can kind of support my team, switch into another Pokemon who's most likely to be taking a knockoff, and then I can retaliate with like some other moves. So here he goes for a knockoff, and he gets rid of my Choice Band on my Donphan Darko. So I get my Choice Band knocked off, which is kind of sucks, but hey, what can you do? At least I survive it, right? And I get some HP back. So he switches out, and predicting that switch, I think I went for a knockoff because I want to knock some items off as well. So that's gonna do a lot of damage on I think Assault Vest Electros, and brings him below half. So that's kind of nice, and that's with Stealth Rocks as well. But one more won't take him down, and I don't really have anything for this for these Electros. So he goes for the Gate Drain. I decided to switch to my Espeon because he's kind of my bulky Mofo here. He's kind of takes some It's kind of specially defensive, so I can take that hit fairly well. I decided I'm going to go for another Wish because I don't think a knockoff will hurt me that much. I've already got my Reflect up, so it won't be a KO, though it'll bring me fairly close. And my Light Clay will get knocked off, so those Reflects and those Light Screens won't last a long time, which is kind of fortunate, but, hey, what can you do? I decided to go for a Protect so I can get my Wish back up, and I get a lot of health back, so that's kind of nice. Now, I decided to retaliate, go for a Dazzling Gleam, try and take it down, but it doesn't do all too much, and he goes for another knockoff, and at this point I believe the Reflect wears off, so that's kind of crappy because now the next knockoff he does could potentially take me down. So I don't know if I should go for a Dazzling Gleam or switch, but I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam. Let's see if I can take him down, and just barely the Electros goes down, and that made me one happy camper because getting rid of that Electros could have, I think it could have wreaked havoc in my team. So getting rid of it was pretty big on my part. So I decided to set up another Reflect because I didn't want to switch right back to my Donphan, and I knew my Espeon was kind of did its job. So I thought, hey, let's sack it off and set up a Reflect. You did pretty well, Espeon. You gotta get rid of that Electros. So that's pretty good. So now I switch into Don Darko, and I kind of want to, because this thing is really my heart check against this thing, because I can go for an Earthquake. Now that should take it down. And he's gonna scout, go for a Protect to see if I have Earthquake. What I do, of course. And now he's gonna switch, so I think, you know what, let's knock off another item. And it works out pretty well because he switched into Azelf, who's gonna take some Stealth Rock damage and a super effective knockoff. And this Donphan is, I believe, Adamant max invested in attack. So it's a really physical, offensive Donphan. So now he's got the Charizard Y in here. It's gonna take a lot of Stealth Rock damage, so that's really scary because this thing, it's got Solar Beam. But I decided to stay in because if I can get a Rock Slide off, that will take down a Charizard, but there's a huge risk because I can still miss, and I know I can survive one because I've got my Sturdy, so I can definitely survive one. It's good that I kept my Sturdy up as well. I can't believe I did, but you know, using Wish from Espeon definitely proved to be helpful. So he's gonna go for a Solar Beam, and I live by 1 thanks to my Sturdy. So now time to go for the Rock Slide, and will I hit it? Yes, I do. I was holding my breath pretty long for that one because if that thing had missed, I don't know what I was gonna do. But luckily, I take it down, and Charizard Y faints, so that's good. That's another huge risk out of my team. So it goes to the Bisharp here, and I decided to switch. Now maybe I could have gone for an Earthquake here, but I decided to go into Fuss Rotom. Oh yeah, no, I had 1 health. That's what am I thinking? I decided to switch because I wanted to save my Donphan as like death fodder, so I thought it was probably more beneficial just to kind of switch. Plus, Fuss Rotom is physically offensive, and I can go for a Will-O-Wisp here and kind of get rid of this thing. This thing is pretty much neutralized now. This Bisharp I don't have to worry about too much. Honestly, we can heal it off, and I don't think he can. So he's gonna keep going for knockoffs because I don't think there's anything else he can really do. So I decided to go for, I believe, a Volt Switch, and I think that should take it down. I think so. Yes. So Rotom gets 1. It takes down the Bisharp, and that's pretty big. So thanks, Rotom, or Fuss Rotom, as I like to call it, and bring in Mr. Poppers, the Penguin. Oh, finally, Mr. Poppers going against Shuckle, and this Shuckle is gonna take a lot of damage from that Stealth Rock, so that's pretty good. And I decided to go for a Toxic because I don't know how long this thing is gonna last. I know it's pretty bulky, so I decided getting a Toxic off would be really huge because then I can kind of stall it out if I need to. So it's gonna take some Stealth Rock. I mean, it took some Stealth Rock damage from before, but it's gonna take some Toxic damage now. Sorry, my bad. And he's gonna withdraw once again into the Crawdon, and Crawdon is gonna take some Stealth Rock damage, but also I believe a Scald, and it won't take that very well. Now I thought I could have lived the next hit because I mean I was still at full health, but a knockoff is a 1-hit KO. I'm like, whoa, that thing is scary. That is a lot of damage. I wonder if that was Adamant. It probably was Adamant. So thinking it could have outsped my Gliscor, since it outsped my... No, it didn't outsped my Empoleon, did it? No, it didn't. So I decided to go for an Agility. I don't know why I decided to do that. That was a bad move on my part. Nothing I could have really done. But I decided to, I get my Toxic Orb off at least, and I get a Baton Pass. And I decided to switch into Rotom. This could have really bit me in my butt because I switched into my Rotom, and he goes for a Crab Hammer, and he misses that. Oh man, he misses that. If he had hit, my Rotom would be dead. And I mean, I kind of like squandered it because I went for a Volt Switch. There was no point really for that Baton Pass, so that was I think a bit of a misplay on my end. That was a bad move. I'm not sure why I did that, but it happened. That's what I get for bringing like a Gliscor with no moves. I almost lose my Rotom. So I switch back into Don Darko, and I think I can take down that Shuckle after Toxic damage and Stealth Rocks. So I decided to go for an Earthquake. These things are super bulky, but I wanted people to take it down with an Earthquake, and I do. So that's really great. Bringing in a super offensive Donphan has been really beneficial because it's been taking down lots of Pokemon. Now the Crawdons. This thing, I'm still not sure how fast it is. I know it's slow, but I don't know who's slower. So I decided to go for an Ice Shard because I'm like, maybe it can be a 2-hit KO in case he decides to go for a Dragon Dance, because then I can at least take it down. But that was a bad move. I should have just gone for an Earthquake. I mean, even if he had a set of Dragon Dance, at least he took it down. But I get my Rotom off in here, and goes for the Volt Switch for the kill and for the win, I believe. So Rotom proving to be like really helpful this match, helped me win the game. So that was a good game, Drew. This was week 9 actually, and I just did my week 10 battle a couple of days ago. Unfortunately, the video could not get saved. We battled, and then at the very end, we got disconnected. So that was so disappointing. This was a good battle, of course, though. I do want to keep talking about this just for a little bit. Drew played really well. Getting those Stealth Rocks bounced back at him was really good, and I didn't get any Stealth Rocks on my end. I think I had a Spinner with Donphan. I think he had Rapid Spin, I think. No, I don't think he had Rapid Spin. I think one of my Pokemon had some sort of defogging move. I think I can't remember. But yeah, getting them bounce back was really helpful because I don't think you know what? Maybe Shuckle does learn Rapid Spin. I don't think it does though. Maybe he's got a Pokemon with the fog, but yeah, getting them bounce back was pretty big because it definitely wore out a lot of his Mons. And when I got the knockoff on the Azelf was pretty big as well. There's a lot of big plays that happened, and I think overall they won me the game. Anyway, so back to the Week 10 battle. I'll just kind of go over how that went. Week 10 was against the California Crowdons, who was #1, and before this match, I was last place. So, or I think I was still last place after this. I'm not really sure, but I'm not doing too well on the overall standings, essentially. So it was a pretty risky battle. I don't know. I'm not sure how that one was gonna go, but I decided I want to bring some. I drafted I have a Slurpuff in case you guys don't know, but I've never brought it in because it's a Slurpuff. They only do one thing. So, and I don't know, it's just never really worked in my team every time I was thinking about bringing it. So I traded that in because we got trades. I traded it in for a Delphox, and I thought, I don't know, I already have a Psychic type, it's weak to rocks. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a good move, but I messed around with Pokemon Showdown and it kind of proved to be pretty useful. So I was like, okay, let's bring it in, let's see how well it can do. And it actually did pretty well. It got 2 KOs and no deaths, so it's +2 right now. I also brought in Donphan, Espeon, Empoleon, Rotom-Wash, and I believe my Gliscor as well. And the Gliscor went down to his Dragonite. And I mean, I'm not gonna go over the whole match. That's gonna take a long time, but it was a good game. It was a close game, and I ended up getting the win 3-0. It was pretty nerve-wracking because I always get super nervous when I do a battle, and yeah, I felt really nervous, but it was a good match. And after the California Crawdons will be the Toronto Staraptors. And if you guys don't know, at this point, the Toronto Staraptors is Cap's team, my brother. So, and he's been doing really well. So I'm definitely gonna be preparing for that Charizard X. Yeah, he's got the Charizard X. I just fought the Charizard Y, and now he's got the Charizard X. So that thing is gonna be pretty scary. I gotta watch out for that because I know what he's gonna do at this point. I've seen a few his videos. He does set up quite a bit. I don't know if I want to waste a turn setting up Brox because it seems to move so fast. I don't want to waste a turn. Donphan is definitely going to play a huge part, but he definitely does adjust his team to his opponent's team. So he's definitely going to be looking at the matchups and see how he can, I don't know, try and work around my team. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here. It's probably gonna be a really good game. There's definitely gonna be a lot of interesting sets there because we're gonna be adjusting our team a lot for each other. So I hope we can win that one because he's been doing pretty well, and now I've won my last 2 games. So yeah, hopefully I can make a comeback here. It'd be really huge if I could. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and let's see what happens in the next few videos. Hopefully we win against the Toronto Staraptors, but I'm sure he's gonna be talking about what he's gonna be preparing for. So let's see what he talks about. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.